3HL 104.5 The Zone, at 3HL 104.5 on Twitter. We just put up a link to our episode of Day Jobs featuring 3HL and Colt Ford, which will air on Wednesday night on GAC. Check it out. Let us know what you think. We put it on Twitter and on Facebook as well, on the 3HL page on Facebook. Let us know. WNBA Draft was today, as Blaine pointed out during the break.
You were watching.
Yeah, I flipped through the channels, and I love sports and try to give women and ladies due respect.
Flip through the channels, meaning.
Yeah. I stopped on the 7th pick, so they had already done 6 picks, and then they replayed how many. I'm like, dang, UT had first 3. They had like a lot of picks.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get to see some thick thighs, but there was nobody.
What were they wearing? Did they wear skirts in the WNBA draft, or like suits? Or are they there?
No one was there that I saw. Usually, I've seen women walk up there, at least the first pick.
I saw where there's going to be 26.
They wear like evening gowns and stuff, right?
Do they really?
No.
I don't think so. It's not the Oscars. I have no clue. I've never watched WNBA.
Most of them, I think, wear suit.
WNBA expert over there. I saw where there's 26 going to be at the NFL draft in 2 weeks.
26
players.
Mm-hmm.
12 of whom are from the SEC.
That's ridiculous. Almost half. And if you count A&M, where does a WNBA player buy her suits? Like, that's got to be tough, right? If you're like a 6'9" woman.
Probably the same place where a guy who wears like a size 23 shoe has to go.
Well, it took them all season to get one.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're rare. Yeah. There's not a lot of them on the rack for sure.
I mean, it's not like you're rolling around Green Hills.
It's no different than an NBA player.
But NBA players make a lot of money.
Woman's store, right?
You don't have to dress up when you're in college to go to your game. You get to wear jeans. I had to wear a suit in college, and I didn't have a lot of money.
They will allow you to buy the suit if everybody wears the same suit.
Right, that's what we all had to wear, blue blazers.
Yeah, like everybody can get a blazer. But what I'm saying is, WNBA, what's the salary? Like $45,000 a year?
I
don't know.
It's something around there. 35, 45, 55.
Here, as an example.
So you could be a teacher or a WNBA player?
You make money more in endorsements if you get to that level.
I mean, teachers make about the same as WNBA players. Nashville, I saw where they're going to start teachers they're trying to start teachers at around $40,000 a year here in Nashville. So imagine if you made $45,000 a year in New York.
Shouldn't teachers be paid a lot more than that?
We can go round and round about that.
You don't want to comment?
I don't
think
ducking
and itchy?
Well, I think they only work. I mean, they get a lot of time off.
Well, that's good, though.
Well, that's like, if you're not going to work 12 months out of the year.
That's an important job.
No, it's a very important job.
Our kids.
If you could quantify who the best teachers are, I think the best teachers should be paid more.
They don't have tests and things that they have to take? I don't know.
But this is what we talked about before. This is honestly, it's an interesting topic because
it is.
There's an article.
I liked it.
There's an article that proves that whether you're a good teacher or not, predicting teacher performance based on prior history is as difficult as predicting NFL quarterback success based on prior quarterback success.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's almost impossible to tell.
Because you could be really smart, but it's how you convey your students.
You can't teach.
If you could teach it, yeah.
And like if you're a teacher and you know you can't be fired, I mean that.
Yeah, my position. I'm in favor of the markets here. If you shouldn't be able to keep your job just because you've been doing it for a long time. You should have to be good. If you're good and you're consistently good, I think the consistently good should be paid more, just like in any other profession. But
I agree with that.
In general, I mean, that's a tough question because
how do they judge teachers now?
We pay their salary
by kids' test scores, which that's tough.
And that's really based off the school. I don't know if they break it down to the classroom.
Yeah, I don't know how they test it now. Honestly, I don't think there's not much merit pay that exists in the state of Tennessee, for example.
Do coaches have to teach?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless you're a private school. Like some private schools have full-time football coaches or whatnot, but you have to teach if you're a Metro or Williamson County or Middle Tennessee teacher.
State,
did you guys know that the WNBA draft number 1 was today? Number 2 had 3 rounds.
It was today.
Yeah, it was today. That's what it was today at 1.
Why is it in the middle?
We're talking about it.
I thought it was last night or something.
No, it was at 1 o'clock.
Well, why do they have it in the middle of the afternoon?
Because they know nobody's watching, so they just wanted to put it on ESPN wherever they could get it. Right?
So Blaine didn't have to watch judge shows.
Man, it's rare that I would have picked Judge Judy. But I think I would go Judge Judy over the WNBA draft. Of course, she makes $50 million a year, which honestly, here's putting it in perspective. Judge Judy makes more money than any women's professional basketball player combined. I bet in the country. I bet Judge Judy by herself makes more than all the WNBA.
How do we judge the judges?
Television ratings.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she's a good judge.
Oh,
No.
I doubt that you would
Because if we had a teacher and we had him on TV every day, do we base it off of how many people watch each teacher?
ratings are everything.
Yeah, because
This is
Robin
what I'm
Williams
arguing.
Well, they
would
don't have a
paid
chance to be
really
on
well,
TV.
right?
The Chief Justice of the United States makes $185,000 a year, I think.
Is that right?
The Chief Justice, the most, like Judge John Roberts.
It's highway robbery.
$50 million. That's right. $50 million for me. This is one of those salaries that just blew me out of the water. $50 million for her.
Could we not, potentially could be selecting a couple of judges for the Supreme Court in the next few years? Could we not make that a reality show?
They don't want to allow cameras in the Supreme Court, so I'm certain they're not going to allow a reality show. But this is my argument.
How ridiculous would that be?
I am very confident that I could do Judge Judy's job for a tenth of her salary. You give me $5 million a year, I could sit up there in the robes.
Would you be a tenth as entertaining?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't
doubt.
find her entertaining.
But how are they locked in their contracts? I mean, nobody can take her spot.
Oh, she's syndicated. I mean, those are when they make all the money.
Yeah.
WNBA draft. Somebody got drafted from Tennessee who didn't play this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's 6'6". She had bad knees.
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately.
they're reaching.
Now, the positive
With the
is
seventh pick.
all of these women
First round.
have
Seventh
degrees.
pick of the first round.
What
Kelly
was,
Kane.
what was that
Tennessee.
unbelievable stat? I think Pat Summitt winning it over 1,000 games, 8 championships, 100 billion
She's
Final
almost
Fours,
at
whatever it is.
1,100 now.
Yeah. The most impressive stat is that every woman who's played for her for 4 years has graduated.
That's right. 100%.
Man, awesome.
That is
It's
unbelievable.
an unbelievable stat. So women actually take advantage more so than men do of athletic scholarships because you can make an argument because they don't have the pot of gold at the end. So they know, shoot, I'm going to
gotta
make
get the grades.
$50,000 at most playing basketball. I got to have a career plan outside of basketball.
Yeah.
So they actually pay attention. They get degrees that matter and they come out and are successful in lots of walks of life, which is honestly the goal of college athletics, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you go as part of getting your education as opposed to as a reason, kind of an apprenticeship.
I don't understand the WNBA on several levels, but how could that league be good enough to Alicia Clark, right, from Middle Tennessee, awesome player, got drafted in the first round. She got cut. How's that possible? She's been playing overseas.
She might have asked to get cut so she can make more money overseas.
You said
I don't think so.
WNBA expert Blaine Bishop says there's 12 teams. So assume there's a
Who's
round.
not going to make that announcement?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be 100 teams for all I know. Assume that there's 12 players on each team. There's only 150 or so spots, 144.
There was not enough spots. They shouldn't have drafted. They should have passed.
So in addition to not making any money,
Like the Vikings.
it's an incredibly hard job to get. That's like being a cheerleader.
They had 3 rounds today. Does the WNBA have cheerleaders?
No, I'm saying that the Titans cheerleaders, it's more
That's
complicated than getting like a job at Goldman Sachs. And then once you only make like $50 a game. Rarely have any people fought so hard to make so little.
Speaking of cheerleaders, 2 guys went out for the cheerleading
I
team.
saw that.
The Broncos and the Texans. 2 guys.
I want to be a judge for this year's cheerleading competition.
All right, I got dibs already. All right.
You've
He was
done
already complaining about that while you were
You were asked?
away. No,
I
but
was
they
a judge before.
No, you've done it before, but I've
they
publicly
announced
lobbied.
that they were having the competition or whatever. So
Right, but
Blaine
I've publicly lobbied for a while. Why can we not be judges? I've never gotten the invite. This is like the 3rd year in a row I've said I would like to judge. There
They
can't be a
might-
lot of
they might
people
be
out there
terrified of you
publicly
soon.
lobbying. What do they think I'm going to do?
I don't know.
Not wear pants for the judging competition? Trust me, I can handle myself. I mean, you can't get in that much trouble. I'm at a table in a public arena.
Maybe they're
They
scared
think
of,
you're to be a biased judge.
maybe they're
I'm going to
scared
be
of
biased towards hotness. I will completely admit.
well, maybe they're scared of what you might say in pre-promotion of the event.
The same. I'm on the air. I mean,
I never know what he's going to say.
but I'm on the air for.
That is true.
I'm on the air for 3 hours.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
What do they think I'm going to say?
exactly.
I can say the same thing with or without the judgeship.
It's a daily concern for Brad Willis.
Oh, man.
I said,
I think you'd be a good judge.
737.
I think I can handle that job.
866-492.
That and Judge Judy.
You can handle Judge Judy.
Judge Judy's job.
Brandon next up on 3HL. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nothing.
I was calling about the teachers' pay thing.
Yeah.
Teachers don't make enough money. I'm a teacher in Wilson County, and we put in a whole bunch of hours, not enough. Clay, one of the things you said there wasn't, enough. We have too much summer off. Well, during the summer we have in-services we have to go to. I have all different types of.
Brandon, let me ask you this. How many people out there say, I'm overpaid? You know what? I just get way too much money for what I do. How many people say that?
Jim Rohn.
I would like for some, if you think that you are incredibly overpaid, 737-1045, what do you do for a living? Because all my life, I've never heard anybody call in and say, you know what? Damn, I just get way too much money for what I do. There's no way that I should get the money that I get to do what I do.
Well, teachers should be compensated well.
They should be compensated more than what they get compensated.
They have our kids' futures in their hands.
Right, that's an easy argument to make. My problem.
That's why I'm making it.
But that's why that's easy.
The argument is
that easy.
There are a lot of them. So in general, as a market, we pay based on the difficulty of the job. Blaine made a lot of money as a safety because not a lot of people could do what Blaine does. If you go get operated on by a neurosurgeon, the neurosurgeon makes a lot of money because there aren't very many neurosurgeons. The more difficult the profession is to do, the more money you make. That's a rule. And it's not
teaching
that
is
hard.
pretty difficult.
It can be difficult to do, but it's not hard to get the job.
I got you. Difficult to do, though.
I think it would be very difficult to do.
I don't think I would enjoy it at all. Not at a low level. The people I think have the toughest jobs, I go read every now and then these kindergartners. I don't have any clue how one person is in charge of like 25 5-year-olds. I can't handle one 5-year-old, much less 25 all day long.
I don't know if men bid for that.
When my 8.5-year-old was in kindergarten, his kindergarten teacher was all over it. He had homework like every day. He had to make he had to give speeches.
Oh.
And kindergarten.
I'm a public school kid.
I was pissed.
There are unbelievable teachers out there, but you could call in right now and say, you know what? I'm going to name so-and-so teacher. She or he didn't do anything for 4 years while I was in high school. I never even saw them there.
But what's funny about that is, how many teachers do we have back in as we were growing up that we remember that really
I remember
stuck
a lot
out?
of my teachers.
I do too. So, you could have a tremendous impact.
But that's because now our friends are now teachers. That's the problem.
I do have some friends that are
My wife was a guidance counselor at Ravenwood. She busted her ass. They worked hard. But I'm just saying from a sheer perspective.
She fell down?
Yeah. It's really icy there all the time. From a sheer perspective
that's Jolton.
Oh, yeah, Jolton. There's like, people are skiing in Jolton right now. Jolton's got 10 inches of snow coming tonight. The school's going to be closed. We got one guy, look, Josh is calling in saying he's clearly overpaid for what he does.
Yes, Josh does say that.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right,
just
Josh.
Listening to.
Yeah, what do you do that you're so overpaid for? This is a first.
Well, I work for a financial services firm, and we're based out in L.A., and so I'm here in Nashville, and basically, they're 3 hours behind, so I can come in basically whenever I want.
Give us you don't have to say where you work, Josh. Give us a rough approximation.
Where I work.
What kind of salary? Yeah. What kind of salary do you make? Give us a rough approximation of your salary.
$150.
So you make $150. How many hours a week do you think you work?
Probably less than.
Don't say less than 2.
I'd say less than 30. Less than 30. Yeah.
Less than 30 hours for $150. I would say you are overpaid. That is a good job.
Believe me. Yeah.
Hey, man.
All right, Josh, count your blessings every day.
You're the envy of everybody listening right now. Josh making $150, working less than 30 hours a week. That is a man who's overpaid.
He just at Burger King. Now everybody went to go get a bacon sundae.
I had one of those. We can talk about that. Has anybody else had the bacon sundae?
Oh,
Brad Willis says he's had one.
Millions of 3HL listeners. Have we had millions of 3HL listeners?
We do. 737-1045. I'm going to give you my review of the bacon sundae. But I'm going to shock you guys with this.
I can't believe we had somebody call in that says he's overpaid.
Oh, I'm shocked by that, too. I went through the drive-thru at Burger King last Saturday night at 9 o'clock. I was coming back from the Vanderbilt spring game, which was interesting. We haven't even talked about that. It was kind of interesting to watch.
How many people were there?
Probably about 10,000.
Oh.
About a decent crowd for Vanderbilt spring game, I thought. James Franklin shaking hands with every single fan there, I think.
Oh, he went around and high-fived them?
Shaking hands, meeting everybody. It was like he was running for office still.
God, he's probably sick now.
Yeah.
Man.
I think he had the hand germs.
He needs to go fist.
No, they said they put more on you. You got to pound them. Give him the pound.
Oh, give him the pound?
Yeah.
I asked the lady at the Burger King window, I said, you sell a lot of these bacon sundaes? She says, yes. I said, well, that's interesting. So, and then I said,
she said, that is.
But she said, we're selling them at breakfast. That's when everybody's buying them.
Yeah, bacon in the morning.
I can't think of anything grosser than starting off my day at 7:30 in the morning with a bacon sundae all day long. You're
people
sitting
are
around
doing it all over the place.
Bacon
People listening
sundae,
right now.
I want somebody who's eating this thing for breakfast to call in and to justify yourself.
Brad, when did you have one?
There's in the evening.
At night. No, your breakfast.
There's thousands of people all over the city eating
737-1045.
bacon sundaes for breakfast here. We're all dying. Justify. Sell yourself.
You will be dying. All those calories you just ate.
Thousands of calories before it's even 9 o'clock in the morning.
We'll solve this issue when we come back. 3HL1045 is on. 737-1045, 866-492-ZONE on Twitter, at 3HL1045. John writes, as an employer, I think there are lots of people that are overpaid. I have a list. Hashtag stealing time. He probably does. Adam, I got paid $22 an hour to watch people sleep.
No, the argument is very few people. We had one caller today.
What they was doing? Sleep apnea?
Who would admit that he was overpaid. I'm sure lots of bosses.
Yeah, he called in that he was overpaid. 150 grand. He works about 30 hours a week.
Thinks he's vastly overpaid.
His parent company's in L.A., so he can kind of show up when he wants.
Yeah, it's a financial firm. We can look you up.
But the reason I called in, I think Clay touched on it earlier, was talking about teachers and salaries and WNBA salaries. As a father of 4 daughters, and 3 of which have played high school ball, one is hoping to go on a college scholarship this year or next year. It's amazing that the WNBA doesn't make any more money than they do. And on the teachers part of it, my daughter graduated from Western in 2010. This is her first year as teaching as a middle school math teacher, and she's losing her job because she doesn't have tenure. And there's been several teachers and principals and vice principals calling in that have, agreed this was more like discrimination than anything else because of the tenure. But still, they're going to let her go to keep older teachers who are actually old enough to retire.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I think, thanks for listening. And that's an issue I think not necessarily we need to get into, but I'm just in favor of markets. That's my position. Legalize it, tax it, get the best people in the best jobs. And if you're not the best, I don't think you should get to keep your job no matter what you do because you've been there long.
Brian on the cell. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Awesome.
Hearing from you.
Right.
I was listening to y'all earlier, and I just wanted to call in with a couple of comments in regards to it. First off, I want to say, Clay, I think you'd be a wonderful Judge Judy. That'd be awesome.
That would be good.
I didn't say I would be wonderful. I said I could do 1/10 as good of a job as she is, so they could pay me $5 million.
You do that for $5 million?
I'd do it for $5 million.
Yeah.
It'd say $45 million. So much more profitable.
Well, y'all were talking about how, here in America, people are overpaid for a lot of the jobs they do. I think the problem is here that most Americans want more money to do less. And unfortunately, you get people, the jobs like teachers and the police officers who are underpaid, and you got sports who, whine about not being paid enough. And it kind of surprised me. I have teachers that run in my family. I also have a lot of military that run in my family.
Well, Brian, Blaine and I said, we said teachers should be paid more.
Oh, I agree totally.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you guys.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that my grandmother's a retired teacher, and my uncle has had death threats as a teacher, and those are tough jobs, and they really are underpaid. I was surprised to find out.
Thank you, Brian. We share the same opinion.
My argument is the more difficult your job is to fill, the more you get paid.
What we said was that we didn't say people all over the place are overpaid.
No,
we didn't say that
we
either.
said the exact opposite. We said, I want somebody to call in who tells me that they are overpaid. We had one guy.
One guy did it.
One guy called in and said, I make $150,000 a year. I work less than 30 hours a week. One guy called in. Everybody thinks they're underpaid. This is America. Everybody thinks they should be making more money than they are, no matter what they do. Whether you're a Titans quarterback or teaching at my high school, Martin Luther King Magnet. Everybody's like, man, I should be making more money for what I do.
I don't know if Prince Fielder's saying that.
Prince Fielder's getting a lot of money.
$250 million, whatever.
But even those players are sitting around, they look up. They say, the owner's making the money off me.
Right, making way
a lot more money than I am.
Yeah.
He's cutting the checks. Person who's cutting the checks making a lot more money than the person cashing them.
Yeah.
Jim, next up. Hey, Jim, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? I'm a teacher at a school here in Nashville, and I wanted to weigh in just a little bit. Being a teacher, I really kind of think that I'm paid a little too much, to be honest with you.
That's honest. What do you think what do you think you deserve?
Well, I think I get paid pretty fairly. I work about 6 hours a day. I have 3 months off. I have spring break off, fall break off. I have 2 weeks in the Christmas time break. I have Easter break. I mean, good God, what other profession gets as much time off as I do?
You're really a teacher, Jim, or are you just making those points?
No, I've been a teacher for 6 years now.
No, I mean, that's the argument.
You teach at a private school?
No, not at a private school.
Public school.
Public schools make more than private.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And almost every case, a public school is going to make more than a private school.
How many teachers don't work hard at all at your school?
See, that's a myth behind education. Bad teachers give good teachers
Bad names.
Bad rep.
Yeah.
You know, just like any profession.
Yeah.
And so, in all honesty, I would say 20%.
Yeah.
80% of the faculty of my school
80.
works really, really hard.